Hey everyone, John Harris here, and welcome back to the Meaning IS movement. I'm so glad you could all be here. Today we're diving into something I think we're all feeling. Even if you don't have the words yet to describe it, it's that kind of feeling we get of a disconnect. It's that sense that time doesn't work the way it used to. We're working, or many of us are working from home. Many of us have lost our jobs to AI and robotics, and we're heading into an era of no work. The old rhythms, the 9 to 5, the office communities or commutes, the water cooler breaks, smoke breaks, coffee breaks, they're dissolving. We've entered what I call the non-work era. It's not that work is gone, it's that it's everywhere. You're not behind a desk at an office necessarily. And that means our relationship with time, with attention and connection, is also, it must evolve. And this is something that we've got to take note of and we've got to work on and think about. So today I want to explore how to restructure your time, not around productivity, but around purpose. We will do that through three simple but powerful principles: rhythm, attention, and connection. By the end of the conversation, my hope is that you'll walk away with a new experience and a way of structuring your days, not as a checklist, but as a living, breathing pattern that actually supports your energy, your relationships, and your meaning. Let's just look at the first one, which is rhythm, designing flow, not schedules. And this is pretty important because you need to make this sustainable, and you need to make it something that where you're not trying to ram something through. I know many authors that had to write, had a specific time to write, and would force themselves to write, and then afterwards they'd have to rewrite. You need to get into a time slot, into a wave, into a time where you are creative or you're feeling specifically able to do a specific function. Let's start with this rhythm, because the truth is we've been taught to manage time as if it's a spreadsheet. But we don't live in cells and rows, we live in waves. The big difference between routine and rhythm: our routine is rigid, it tells you what you to do and when to do it. Rhythm moves you, it flexes, it breathes. And for those of you that have been onto my blog, you'll see that in conjunction with Grok, I've created a vacuum tension field theory on the theory of everything. And that too is the flux. And I'm stating that pure space, intrinsic energy is a flux. And it's important to understand that we and nature all works within rhythms. So you need to look at that it's not about what time and what you get to do something. It's about how that time feels. Think of it this way: nature runs on rhythm, not routine. The tides move in and out, and I've mentioned about nature, your seasons, your migrations of animals, they work on a rhythm. And although they may change, weather patterns may change, the Earth's rotation may change, its energy field may change, but they then adjust those rhythms to the new circumstance. So I'm not saying a rhythm would be the same every day. I'm saying you need to take focus on cognizance of the fact that it may change, but you need to be in that time slot. Your heart beat speeds up and slows down. The season shift. Everything alive has a rhythm. So should your time. And this is what we are talking about today, I'm thinking about. When you lost the structure of the traditional workday, many of us lost our anchors. So for many of you, you haven't lost your work yet. You need to start preparing and thinking about it, that you may lose it. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm not saying in the next year, but over the next decade or two is going to be a massive change. And why can I talk about this? Because I'm retired. Retirees are already in this position. We already have no longer got that work day. So we've had to restructure our time. And this is why we can talk from a position of authority. But what if that goal isn't to rebuild structure? What if it's to reclaim rhythm? So let's think about this. Try this instead of scheduling your day by the clock. Tune into your energy waves. When do you feel most alive, most creative, most grounded? That's your personal rhythm. And you need to use those times for doing different things. Use the windows of your deep work for creative flow, your most meaningful conversations. Then protect your low energy periods for rest, reflection, and simple movement. And you need to think about what I've just said and put it into your day. And remember that it's very important to do this, and it's going to become more important as time moves forward now. Think of your day like a song. You need to be both melody and have periods of silence so it makes sense. So the key idea is rhythm gives you your time a heartbeat. And once you find your natural rhythm, everything else starts to sync up. Look, let's move now to attention. So the new currency, and you'll know that everybody is trying to get your attention. We live in a very noisy world. So let's talk about attention. In this non-work era, attention has become the most valuable and most fragile resource. It's the new currency. And most of us are spending it without realizing we're being taxed on it. So you have advertising crashing in on you. You have noises from every direction, whether it's from your phone, your computer, whether it's from moving advertising, whether it's people trying to get your attention towards sport, to listen to certain pop music, to various aspects of life that are absolutely bombarding you every day. The world is louder than ever, okay? So notifications, messages, endless scrolling, all designed to fragment your focus. But attention isn't just focus. Attention is presence. It's a very important distinction. This is the act of saying this moment matters, this task, this person, this breath. I choose it. So here's the question I want you to hold. If attention is your currency, are you investing it or leaking it? Reclaiming your attention starts with small shifts. Try one task rule. Okay, so you're going to try the one task rule. Just one thing at a time. Full focus, no multitasking. And we're all guilty of this. Even myself, who's not basically working anymore, you start to become scrambled, and you in fact overwhelm yourself by multitasking. And you don't do it properly. So when you finish a task, take a pause, look away from the screen, breathe, let your mind reset. Mark transitions with small rituals. It could be lighting a candle before you start creative work. It could be stepping outside to feel the sun when you finish the task. Or maybe just keep, taking a deep breath to acknowledge you shifting gears. Those tiny rituals signal to your mind, this matters now. So you can start to train yourself to know when it's important to focus and give your full presence, your full attention. One thing more, stop measuring your worth by your productivity. And in this world, there are a lot of people that are very, very productive and are very, very big earners. But understand that as we get machines and AI, that productivity is going to drop down for humans to near zero. You need to think about that. So we are not going to be doing the productivity. The machines will be doing it. So we've got to structure our time in a different way. Attention is the new measure, because where your attention goes, your meaning grows. Connection, rebuilding human time. This is the third part of the third idea, and it's connection. And it's because rhythm and attention mean little if they're not shared. Let me say that again. Rhythm and attention mean little if they are not shared. Connection is what turns time into meaning. It's what roots us when the world feels unstructured or uncertain. In the non-work era, we're hyper-connected digitally, but emotionally, most of us feel isolated, more isolated in fact than ever. So many people are online. Many of the Z-Genners are playing games and chatting to each other online. Many forums. But they don't really know who they're talking to. So, and they haven't actually met them. So it's starting to isolate us even more. And we've lost those small moments, the casual conversations, the shared pauses. But connection doesn't have to disappear. It just has to evolve. I like to think of connection in terms of nourishment and not networking. Who are the people that recharge your energy? Who are the people that you like to be with that make you feel more energetic, not drained? Who makes you feel seen? And how often do you make time, real time for them? Maybe that looks like a weekly check-in with a friend where you don't talk about work. You talk about other things that you have a common interest in. Maybe it's a shared creative space, a journaling hour, or even silent co-working call. Connection doesn't always need words. Sometimes it's just being with others in rhythm. People doing yoga, for etc., or Tai Chi. And let's talk about digital connection, because it can be meaningful too if you approach it with intention. And that's why I mentioned I've worked on a theory of everything for myself, the vacuum attention field, and it gave me meaning, and it was done with grok in order to do it intentionally. And it's very, very enlightening. Instead of doom scrolling, what if you instead use some of these platforms to share reflection, gratitude, or creativity? The medium isn't the problem, it's the intention of how you use these things. Connection gives time its purpose. When you weave connection in your rhythm, time starts feeling like something you have to manage. It becomes something you share. So this is the closing reflection now. So let's bring it all together. Today we've talked about 3 principles: rhythm, attention, connection. Rhythm is how you move through time. Attention is where your mind lives. Connection is who you share it with. In this non-work era, we are all being asked to redefine what a good day looks like. Now, by how much we get, not how much we get done, but how we align our feelings and how we feel. Now, I know a lot of the podcasters out there, some of the big guys, Goggins and Jocko and the guys will be saying, feeling as, don't be woke, you've got to drive and discipline. Be understanding that we're trying to maximize minimum input to maximum output here. We're doing things when we're at the best possible moment for us to do those things in the waves that are conducive to getting a certain thing done. And that also takes discipline, because it's not just something that you want to do every day. You're in a heightened state, but you still have to discipline yourself to do it at that particular time. And you have to be in tune to know when those times change through the seasons. So here's my challenge for you this week. Don't manage your time, tune it. Notice the rhythms that make you feel alive. And that takes setting time aside to concentrate and to be aware of what your heart is saying to you. Protect the attention that fuels your creativity. You've got to protect it from all this other noise. And nurture the connections that make your days feel human again. Ask yourself every morning, what would a meaningful day look like today? Not just let me have a successful day today, or let today be great or outstanding. Have a meaningful. What would it look like to be meaningful? Then go live it. One rhythm, one breath, one connection at a time. Now, thank you for listening to the Meaning IS movement. If this episode resonated, share your thoughts or on your rhythm experiments online at the Meaning IS movement, and I'd love to hear what's shifting things for you. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and remember, meaning isn't found in your schedule. It's found in how you live your moments. And I will see you in the next episode.